Hi, everybody. We are live here for Monday, June the 27th, 2022. The road trip continues for Uncle Bruce and Auntie Jen. We are in Zermatt, Switzerland. A mountain getaway place. Gotta say, let me show you on a map kind of where we are. You may recall this map right here. You may have remembered I used this before. On the very bottom of Switzerland here, towards the bottom right, you see Lugano. That's where we were last week. Now come to the bottom, just sort of the little towards the left, you'll see Zermatt way down there. And we are within about, I don't know, 5-10 miles away from the Matterhorn mountain, the mountain of Matterhorn. And there's a range of mountains near here. We're surrounded by them. We're in a tiny little valley here. This is a skier's paradise in the wintertime. In the summertime, you go hiking, biking, you name it here, photographing and just exploring. Riding the gondolas around here. It's just gorgeous. And Jen and I got here on Saturday. We left Zermatt by high-speed train back to Zurich. We had to go back up to Zurich, which sounds like a long way. It was an hour and 50 minutes. Nothing burger. Beautiful ride as always. And then from there we had 30 minutes to catch our next train, which brought us back down here, but over. And about an hour from here, you have to get off the regional train and then get on the local Matterhorn train. And that one is a neat ride because albeit it's electric, it's only 4 or 5 cars long, and it's curvy, and you're going up, 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 up. We're at 5,200 feet elevation here, where in Lugano we were at 900 and something feet elevation. So we've come up here to this place. Gorgeous, gorgeous place. I was able to upload a video onto Instagram the other day. I have an Instagram account for Traveling with Bruce, and I was able to take a shot out of our balcony over here when the church bells were going. And the Sunday church bells were ringing, and all the echoes off the mountains all around us. It's just stunning. And there are all of these beautiful chalets around us here, pure, absolute alpine type chalets, the kind that Switzerland are famous for, of course. And we've been taking photos of those. Absolutely fantastic. I did get a shot of, I believe, the Matterhorn. That is just off of from our hotel here. And here's a little, I had zoomed in on that one. This is not quite so much of a zoom, but I caught it and I grabbed the photo of it. Here's what it looks like to the naked eye. You're going, where's the mountain? Well, it's there. Honestly, if you zoom in on my photo, you can start to see it begin to appear right there. There it is. And I think I can get it a little further on this one zoom shot. There it is right there, with these phenomenal villas all around us here. Absolutely stunning place. This here is the image from our balcony. We are looking north towards Zurich, but these are the chalets around us. Some of these are full-timer apartments. People live here full-time. There are about 5,000 plus people who live here year-round, and a lot of them are in the hospitality business for obvious reasons. And there are tourists everywhere, and it is a phenomenal, phenomenal place. There are no vehicles allowed here, no cars. You can't drive here with your vehicle. The only combustion vehicles here, a couple of cop cars, ambulance, fire truck. The garbage truck is electric. The taxi cabs, there's a fleet of taxi cabs downtown which is 150 feet walking from here, and they're all electric vehicles, all electric, little boxy looking things. Matter of fact, I did take a video. See if I can get this to work. I have a video here of the Matterhorn train station, and those are the cabs right there. You can see those taxi cabs, those little boxy things. That's what they are. Just absolutely a beautiful, beautiful place. And we're here for the week. And the hotel is great. Breakfast included. It has a pool downstairs. It has a spa here. And so we're getting in some relaxation and beautiful scenery, and it's all good. And so here we are. We have landed in Zermatt, and we're enjoying it very much. Thank you all for joining me already this morning. How many of you are here? Fantastic. Thank you for those of you who are already pounding out the thumbs ups for us. Appreciate these thumbs ups, letting us know what number you are. Richard started it off with the number 2 thumbs ups. Alex is number 6. Duncan, number 7. Thank you all. Tiff, number 8. Thank you all for popping here. H. Gregory, 12. Lame Duck, 13. Mark, number 15. Rebel Bill got in there. Hector says he's number 1. Bill's here at number 20. Welcome, everybody. JL, Mark, 21. Kiwi, 23. And 27 for White Feather. Cindy is here, number 30. John is here. How you doing, John? And White Feather wishing everybody a good week. Great to have a bunch of folks here. There's lurkers about and everybody else. It's nice to see everybody here. DQ is number 44. Thank you, everyone. Larry is number 50, our bell ringer. Fantastic, man. And good morning. Let's make some money. Absolutely. We're up right now. We're ahead about 70 points on the Dow. We're up about 12 on S&P, NASDAQ up 53. Now, we were higher than this about an hour ago. We're easing off a little bit. This is not surprising to me. We had a big, fat 800-point gain on Friday with no let-up at all day long. We went up, got to the 500 level, 550, 600, 650, just kept going. And we ended up over 800 points for the day. I think we gained about close to 1,500 points for the week on the Dow. I know the NASDAQ, S&P, Dow all had good weeks last week because there is speculation now that it's possible most of the dramatic interest rate increases may be behind us. There might be still another 3/4 point gain to be added on by the Fed to kind of get them into this 2 range, 2.25, 2.5 range. But beyond that, the street is beginning to figure we're going to top out around 2.5, 2 3/4 on the Fed fund rate. That's about all she wrote. And the economy is saying to the markets, look, housing starts are quieter. Housing sales are backing off. It's not as active there. Business is tamping back, holding back. We're not seeing this economy in overdrive at all globally. And so the speculation is maybe we ease up a bit on the economy, which is going to ease up on inflation, allowing interest rates to be moderate into this 2.5, 3% range. And that's good for stocks, because if investors know that the prime rate or the bond rate is 3%, 3.25%, but you can get 3%, 3.5% on a yield on a dividend from a stock, plus capital gain opportunities as a company grows and becomes larger, you kind of put your money into the equity market where the stocks come from. U.S. durable good orders climb more than forecast in May. That's a headline that just came out. We'll watch to see how the futures react to that. The key here is inflation, all about inflation. If inflation is going to ease off, then the interest rate thing can be eased off. I can tell you, back when I was in my 20s, early 20s, right through to my 30s, there was a battle going on to crush inflation. And I'm not talking about 6, 7, 8% inflation. I am talking about the kind of inflation we had that was really creating terrible havoc in the Western world. And this was the kind of inflation that we had anywhere from 15 to 18% inflation in the US, Canada, the UK, all of Europe, Asia. It was a global nightmare. And while all that was going on, we also had unemployment raging, just unemployment everywhere, because we found that in North America, in Canada, where I am, and in the US, the factories that had been pumping out jobs for the war veterans, the survivors, returning soldiers from World War II, those good paying factory jobs were disappearing like we couldn't believe. And it was shocking to a lot of North Americans about how, and other industrial countries as well, by the way, because old factories were gone, new factories were in, and they were automated, and they were being set up in cheaper jurisdictions, which meant the third world. But Second World War veterans who were 30 when the war was over, got a bunch of them got really good paying jobs in the Northeast US, where the factories were really, along with Canada, in Ontario, Quebec. And after 20 years, from like 48 to 68 to 1970, 25 years, they were now pushing their 50s. They were pushing 50, 55, and they were coming into their last 5 to 10 years of work until they were 60, 65. In the meantime, the kids, the boomers, the first wave of baby boomers were being born in 46, 47, 48. Well, by 1966, the first boomers were now 20. And by 1971, they were 25. And of course, just because you're a boomer doesn't mean you're going to become a university graduate and a lawyer. There are all kinds of levels of boomers moving on in life. And a lot of boomers found that when they hit 16, 17, 18, especially 18, they could quit school at whatever level they were at, and they could now get work. And if dad had a really good paying job at General Motors or Ford or Chrysler in Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, you name it, it was not uncommon for a lot of the sons and the daughters to get these jobs as well. And they were employed in the mid 60s to the late 60s. They came in, and right into the early 70s, they were working at these factory jobs. The problem became, after about 10, 15 years, so you've gone from your, say, 20th year to your 35th year, you got married, you had kids, you had a mortgage, you had 2 cars perhaps, you were making good union money. And dad was now, mom and dad were grandma and grandpa, you had the kids, and all was good because the union contracts were juicy renewal contracts with nice pay raises, until inflation kicked in and the beginning of the end of the Rust Belt began to kick in. We had a double whammy. And within 10 years, we found that luckily, the veterans of the Second World War who were retiring at age 55 to 65, in that neighborhood, they got out just in time. Their time came and they were able to retire. Now, a lot of them had guaranteed pensions and were relatively all right. The last of them, the ones who were the Korean veterans, those who started in their, say, 28, 29, 30th year in the 50s, they needed to work until the 80s and the 90s to be able to get their pensions. The union contracts kept bringing the retirement age down because the car companies wanted to lower the number of people in the factories. One way to do it was to offer earlier retirement from 65 to 63 to 60 and so on. So that worked for a while, but then the end came when we ended up with 12%, 14% inflation, 16, 18%. Interest rates had to be raised dramatically to quell this. and it began to crush the lower middle class, the middle class. And this is exactly the wheelhouse of tens of millions of factory workers, gazillions of them. And it wiped out American Motors, for example. It wiped out all kinds of other American-based corporations that were manufacturers in these northeastern states. A lot of the car parts manufacturers, they got wiped out through the 80s and the 90s. And then, of course, the big three, they started consolidating their factories. That or die. It was no choice. And so TVs were no longer produced in North America. Washer and dryers were virtually almost no one produced them anymore. Baby carriages, forget about it. Bicycles were no longer produced in North America. We lost everything when it came to heavy industry. Steel plants were gone. There were tons of them. They all disappeared. And it all went overseas, where the labor was 1/10 the price, 1/8 the price. And there were no unions to worry about. There were no health benefits to worry about. Workers worked in a third world and they got really ill in their 40s and died. Too bad. We got 25 guys for every one of you guys that wants your job. So no problems there, no unions there. You had governments that were totally on side of business because of all the bribes they were getting to allow these factories in. And so away it went. And so the huge, devastating collapse of the middle class began in Canada, the USA, and all these factories just died out. And Levi's didn't produce jeans in America anymore. And you couldn't, all the textile workers were let go. All the shoemakers, there were shoe factories in Southern Ontario and Quebec, like you couldn't believe. It was a huge fashion district in Toronto, in Canada. It was annihilated. New York's fashion district was dramatically cut back. And on it went. It just went on and on and on. And it was progress, but it was also the end of another era. And unfortunately, in North America, the attitude was employers, publicly traded companies or privately traded companies run by very successful, high-level, educated people, and the employees. And there was a gap between the two. There was a gap, and unfortunately, the two had trouble working together because the unions wanted to protect the workers, the owners wanted to protect the profits, and the two could not sit at a table and find a way to make it work for both sides at the same time. It was a battle, and it got worse and worse and worse until, and this happened in the UK, this happened in other countries, until eventually the unionized workers found that the unions lost a bunch of their members because they were laid off. They were out of work. In Germany and Sweden, Switzerland, Norway, Austria, somewhat Italy, a lot of European countries, they had a stronger connection between union heads and politicians. And the top-notch corporations in Europe realized they could not bribe politicians to go their way. They had to work with them. And the politicians were not going to be bribed by big business to lose all the union votes. And so the unions had the votes, the big corporations had the money. And in the US, the big corporations could buy public opinion with advertising campaigns, negative advertising campaigns, to try to get their representatives into Congress to make laws good for American business. Same thing in Canada to a degree, not quite as much, but in Germany and other countries, not a chance. There was no way that was going to happen. And so big business had to work with the unionized workers. And so in Germany's case and other countries' case, the country invested in the factories' revitalizations and retraining of the workers so that the employers had employees they could use for the work they were looking to do, the products they wanted to manufacture. And the countries were backing the companies with financing to help them with their export business, because in Europe, you knew you couldn't just live off of selling cars to your local population only. You had to export your product globally to make it work. And so the German government helped Volkswagen, Mercedes, Audi, and everyone else get export loans together so that these vehicles could be distributed globally. And it was the way it went. Whereas with Ford, GM, and Chrysler, they were kind of on their own. They had Ford plants in the UK. There were GM plants like the Opels being made in Europe, but it was a hodgepodge kind of arrangement. And they were just outmaneuvered. The American manufacturers were outmaneuvered by very fast-moving European coalitions between workers, factory owners, and government. And in the US, everyone was fighting each other. In Europe, they were cooperating, and they were kicking butt for many other countries at the same time. Japan, same thing. Strong union presence, strong government backing. Toyota, Nissan, all the other brands, Mazda, they flourished globally rather than just in Japan. And so, sure, there's Toyotas all over America, but there are Toyotas all over Israel, Brazil, Chile, Kenya. They're in India. They're in China. I mean, Toyotas are global all over the place. The number of Toyotas sold in Japan versus the rest of the world, there are more Toyotas sold outside of Japan than inside. Whereas with American brands, didn't work. And of course, the big downfall for the car manufacturers in America was they were producing vehicles at the cheapest possible price possible for the American consumer. And the American consumer, with 75-cent gas, 25-cent a gallon gas back in the 60s, they were quite happy with V8 engines with the air conditioners going and 12 miles to the gallon, as long as they could afford it. And the car manufacturers in the US had the Congress in their back pocket to not have to put in those pollution controls, not have to put in the seat belts. They held off all the Ralph Naders and all the other groups who were saying, you got to modernize this car business. We are getting shellacked by the outside world. But the American car industry is saying, hey, we can make 17 million cars a year for Americans. It's American rubber, American steel, American workers. It's all good for America. And Canadians and Americans were driving big, fat, bloated vehicles while the Europeans were moving into, and the Japanese were moving into far higher quality machines, better performance, longer lifespan, way cheaper to operate. And it took until the 80s until the house of cards fell in on itself. And our big three manufacturers got crushed when the oil embargo took place in the 70s, early 70s, when the OPEC guys jacked the price of oil dramatically. That was the first wave. And all of a sudden, we saw Chevrolet Capri automobiles on the road that were once 18 feet long or whatever the length was, and they were now 17 feet or 16 or 15 feet long. I mean, they were cut back. Giant Cadillacs were now shrunk, and they looked terrible. We looked at these cars and they looked like miniature versions of the big boats we used to have. It's the same car. It's the same technology, way behind the outside world, and we're driving garbage. And sure enough, it didn't work. And ultimately, what did the car companies ultimately do? They did what Chrysler did in their own unique way. Chrysler was the first of the big three to hit the wall, and they knew that they were about to go bankrupt. And Lee Iacocca, chairman of Chrysler, went to the U.S. Congress for a bailout. And I think they got their hands on $2 billion or something like that, which at the time was unthinkable money. This is about 81, 82. And Lee Iacocca came to Washington and said, we're building all new cars that will be compete with the mileage of the imports. They'll have better quality. We'll put warranties on these cars because it was unthinkable that a U.S. car would come with a warranty. They had like a 1-year warranty, whatever it was, 20,000 mile warranty for the transmission. It was a joke. It was laughable. Lee Iacocca came out with a 7-year warranty, powertrain warranty. The engine and the transmission were warranted for 7 years, 100,000 miles. Never ever had that been done in the United States before by a U.S. car maker. And he did it across the fleet with all of the vehicles that came out. And Chrysler survived because the car sold beautifully, because gas was going up in cost. And people were realizing that if we drive a Reliant four-door sedan, I'm getting 36 miles to the gallon, whereas the Chevy Imperial that I used to drive, it was getting 12 miles to the gallon. The Cordoba was getting 14 miles to the gallon. You remember our old friend from Fantasy Island, the fine Corinthian leather of the Chrysler Cordoba? I mean, he advertised that car for almost a decade. That car was, at the time, a mid-size Chrysler four-door sedan or two-door coupe with a 350 V8 four-barrel carburetor blowing gas out the pipe because it couldn't eat it all up. Those vehicles were gas guzzlers. They lasted 4 or 5 years. They would have rust, and they would have holes in the floorboard. They were so bad. And then Lee Iacocca came along and said, we're canceling all these cars. We're stopping production for all these vehicles. And every one of our vehicles will be rust-proofed at the factory as part of the manufacturing process. When we make these vehicles out of steel, we're going to dip the steel frames into a bath of rust-resistant chemical that will bond to the vehicle so it won't rust out in 4 years. This took until the mid-'80s for the American car manufacturer to get their act together to do it. In the meantime, you could have been buying a Toyota Corolla, a Toyota Camry in the early 80s. They would last 10 to 12 years. The cheapest, tiniest little Toyotas that were on the road, the Honda Civics, the cheap little Honda Civics, would last 10, 12 years each. And college students were driving Honda Civics in college because, as much as they would want to have a big fat American car, they couldn't afford the maintenance and the rebuilding of a 5-year-old American car. A 5-year-old American car was always in the garage, where a 5-year-old Civic kept on running and running and running, and you could beat the crap out of that thing. In other words, through your 4 or 5 years of college, you would run this little car to the ground. And then when you finally graduated, you got a, quote, job, you could now afford a bank loan to get something new. But they didn't buy the Chrysler Cordoba. They didn't buy the Chevy Capri. They didn't buy the Ford LTD. No, what did they do? They bought the Celica. They bought the higher up car. They bought the Honda Accord. They bought the Nissan. I remember the Datsun brand before they turned the name over to Nissan. They stayed with the Japanese brands. And if they then moved up into quality, they went into the Audis and they went into the Benz. And they avoided the American brand. American kids avoided American-based cars to a degree. They're still the diehards. You never shake them out. But a whole bunch of kids from the kids of the Second World War generation and the kids of the kids, the grandkids of the Second World War generation, weren't buying the cars that grandma and grandpa used to build out of Detroit in 47, 48, 49, 50, and so on. The big changeover in the middle of all this inflation that, like I said, took us to 16 to 20% inflation, 14 to 16% interest rates. Personal loans were literally impossible to get. Home mortgages were renewed in the 14 to 18% range for years. And it was mayhem, and there was economic turmoil everywhere you went, and the politicians were powerless to churn it around because they had no money. The governments did not have money that they could throw at the population to spur the economy. They had to borrow money at 15 to 20% as well. The US government, the Canadian government, the UK government had to issue bonds at 14, 16% to raise cash for their operations. They had to reduce spending to get out of deficit spending. They had to live with tighter economic times. And it was rough, really, really rough. But how we did it through price controls and all kinds of stuff were enacted. but it took almost a decade of pain to get through it. And the government's central bankers have sworn ever since they would never get caught in that situation again, that they would stay ahead of inflation. And that is why now the Federal Reserve is stepping up with 0.75% of increase in interest rates, another one coming, to knock this 8-9% interest rate back to 4-5 to start with, and then beat it into submission down to the 3% range if possible, because they don't want to go back to what they had at one time way back when. No, thank you. All of you, thank you for joining me today. Hope you don't mind the little history lesson of what went on. I was there. It was crazy. John is here, 64, 65 thumbs ups. Octavio is here at 68. Thank you, guys. 69 from Michael. Welcome all of you to the channel this morning. Great to have you here. Appreciate it. Sell my house in Upper Marble, number 91, thumbs up. LL99. Oh, look at that. Nick is at 103. John, 105. Odin's Pumpkin, 104. Nazareth is number 109. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. Kiwi, I remember being at a rental car desk and being offered a Honda. The U.S. friend I was with, the man of the U.S. car, it was awful. Laugh out loud. Kiwi, I think it was a Chrysler 300 big tank that did not like to turn for corners. Felt like driving a giant mattress. John Bickman, number 113. I remember getting a Chevrolet Celebrity front-wheel drive, a J model in the early 80s. Garbage car. They didn't last more than 6 years. I think they lasted one turnover and they were gone. The American public just did not go for that car. They had a big ad campaign. GM thought they had created the greatest things in sliced bread, and it was a disaster in the shop, non-stop, constant repairs. Even the K cars for Chrysler, they survived their warranty periods, but shortly after, you needed drive chains, you needed serious work done on these cars. They renewed those. I think they lasted about 10 years, and then they remodeled them and kept refining them to bring it up. But then Chrysler made their next mistake. They started producing larger K cars because they just got back into their old habits. Ford shrunk their cars and then they expanded them again. GM did the same thing. Couldn't help themselves, and they would go to Congress to get breaks on the mileage requirements. They would get breaks for emissions. They would try every trick in the book to get congressmen to give them breaks, to allow them to pollute the air without restriction, to produce a car at 23 miles a gallon when Toyota could produce 40 miles to the gallon. It was the consumer that ultimately taught the U.S. auto industry a lesson that they didn't want to learn. And the bottom line was, you've got to build a quality car that performs and is cheap to maintain. And today, it's unthinkable that a car can't last 10 years. But this was unimaginable in 1970, that a car would last 10 years. Are you out of your mind? Because my father in 1963 was a traveling salesman at that time, just starting out. And the game was at that time that traveling salesmen bought themselves new cars every 2 years. Every 2 years, you traded in your old one and got a quarter of the money for it, and you bought a brand new one because you had the money. They were so cheap to crank out because they were garbage. The cars had no technology in them. They had little features that they would add, and the car companies made you feel like you're driving the greatest invention man ever saw, and you were driving ball steering cars, ball brakes, not disc brakes. You had 3-speed automatic transmissions is all. You had vinyl seats. You had garbage as cars, absolute crap. And no wonder every 2 years you could afford a new one. They would produce millions of these things, and they were crap. They had manual crank windows. You didn't repair them. You did as little as possible to repair these vehicles, and then you dumped them. And as a salesman, you had to have a shiny car to reflect that you were a successful salesperson on the road. And so every 2 years, you flipped over your car. And the reality was back in 62, 3, 4, 5, you couldn't get a loan for a car. No banker in their right mind would lend you money on a 4-year loan for a car that's going to last 2 to 3 years, because a vehicle driving off the lot at a Chevy dealer in 1963 by 2 years later was worth 40 cents on the dollar. That's it. After 5 years, it was worth a dime on the dollar. So it might have left the dealership at $1,900, $2,000. 5 years later, it was not even $500. It was $200 to $400. No banker was going to lend anyone anything on a vehicle like that. Car rental companies that really came into their own into the 60s, what they did was they would buy boatloads of these vehicles. They would buy boatloads of the Chevy Biscayne, the Chevy Bel Air, the Capri, the Ford LTD, and they would rent them out at the airports, hotels, and all wherever they could rent them out at. But they would only keep them for 3 to 6 months, because at the end of 3 to 6 months, the vehicle was already beginning to show wear and tear. And this is where the car rental companies were turning over these vehicles. The car companies loved it because they had these giant companies, customers like Avis and Hertz. They would buy thousands and thousands and thousands of the exact same car with the exact same features, all pre-negotiated, and they would just crank out for weeks the same damn car for these car rental outfits that would then go across all over Canada and the USA. They'd be rented out for 3 months at a time, and then the car companies would offload them and bring in new ones, turning them over every 3 to 6 months. And Detroit just kept producing and producing and producing. At the end of it, though, after 3 to 5 years, all of these vehicles would end up at the junkyard, all of them. And it was terrible, just terrible. The young college kids, they saw what these cars were. They saw what their mom and dad was driving, and they didn't want any part of it. They didn't want any part of these cars because they could see if they went on a holiday to Europe here to backpack for a summer, they'd see the vehicles that the 20-year-olds in Europe were driving. They were noticing what a 30-year-old European college graduate with a real job, they realized what they were driving. And they went, these cars here are way more efficient, way better built, much tougher, and they don't rust out like the American cars do. It was a real eye-opener for the traveling generation of the youngest of the baby boomers. That's what began to happen. But unbelievable. Renault Reliant awful. Yugoslav Yugo. It reminds me of the Reliant Robin, the three-wheeler that rolled on corners, over on corners. 87 Chevy Celeb was my first car. Ford Pinto, bomb on wheels. The 72 Malibu. I had to put in a neutral at stop sign to keep it from dying. Duncan, 77 Cadillac Sedan, DeVille, green, lily pad. 121 thumbs up. Thank you, Wing Commander. Oh, some of those cars that we had that we were exposed to. My mother had a Pinto. She had a 1973 Pinto, I think. And in those days, from 71, 72 to 3 and 4, the bumpers had to now be shock absorbent bumpers, if you might remember that. So if you see photos of 1970, 71, 72 vehicles, they were chrome bumpers, stylish chrome bumpers. But by 73, 4, and 5, they were all polyurethane, 6 inches deep, thick bumpers on the front and back of cars. And Pintos absolutely had these humongous bumpers put on them to protect the fuel cap, which was at the very back of the car, from being smashed in on a fender bender. Oh, it's just garbage. How these cars were on the road is today unthinkable. But the Pinto lasted a long, long time. The Vega from Chevy had an aluminum block engine that just seized up in no time. North American car manufacturers just blew it. Model after model after model. They kept making the wrong vehicles that just didn't last, didn't have a chance to last because they were cost cutters. They were trying to produce cars for as cheap as possible with the expensive union wages they had to pay. And they had that dealership network. They figured the dealers will keep the cars running, and they would make their money on parts, aftermarket parts. But eventually, the Toyotas and the Datsuns and the Nissans and the Hondas and the other brands just crushed them, because you could ride a Honda Accord for years beyond a Chevy anything. Unbelievable. Corvair, oh my gosh. Spire Global to enter Russell 2000. Let's go, baby. Let's look for good stuff. Love your stories, Uncle Bruce, this computer with. Yeah, those were the days. Oh my gosh. Unbelievable. Volvos were stunning vehicles in the 60s and 70s. They stunned North American car buyers, because a Volvo would come out. You'd see a neighbor with a Volvo. They'd drive that thing for 15 years and it wouldn't rust, because the Swedes built that thing like a tank. And down the other road, you'd see someone in a Mercedes. They'd have a base level B200 or something. These things ran for 15, 20 years, and they wouldn't rust out either. It was just unbelievable. It was just incredible to see these various vehicles. GameStop is $135.50 right now. We've got 19 minutes to go before we open. We're up 29 cents. I got the Dow up 33. I got S&P up 7, NASDAQ up 25, crude up 42 cents. That's where we're at right here. Very quiet open. Lurkers allowed, question mark. We're about to shut the lurkers down. I'm sorry to say, we're going into trading, and during market hours, it's members only. Is it true that you always buy a West Coast car rather than an East Coast car? Oh, back in the day, you didn't want to own a car that was driven in Ontario, Canada, near Toronto. All the salt on the road, New York, Pennsylvania, all the salt that was used, you didn't want to use those. The southern car, the cars in the southern U.S., they didn't get exposed to this stuff, and so they didn't rust as fast. The problem with those vehicles was that they were baked to death. Arizona cars had to have air conditioning, and on an engine, it was so hard on an engine back in the day, the 100-degree temperature, these cars just burned out. So the Northeast cars had their problems. The Southwest had their problems. And then in California, you had, better conditions, but still, after so many miles of travel, these cars fell apart. That was really all it was. What can I say? Bye, guys. Good morning. Hello from Blur. Hi, bye. Nick, anyone who's lurked this long can't be that bad. Got to imagine the trolls have been gone a long time. We got to hope so. Ethel, thank you for being here as well. All of you who are not members, always great to see you guys. John Jepson, how's it going? Nice to have you, John Malone. And I know a bunch of you watch us all the time, and it's great. Yeah, first car, AMC Gremlin. Oh, Jules. Oh, what a car. Unbelievable. Anyway, those are the days, those old days with those vehicles. My God, they were crap. I have to admit, they were garbage. What can I say? It is what it is. Thank you all for being here today, joining us from wherever you are around the world. We love you. And thank you for being, those of you who are members, those of you who are subscribers. Love that you're all here. And thank you for your kind words and encouragement. And let's hope everybody can make money as we go now member only on discussions. For a moment, if you'd like to join us, I'd love to have you as a member. Please consider becoming a member today. Love you guys. That's what keeps us on the air, the memberships, without question. It's not advertising from YouTube, I'll tell you that. There aren't enough of you here for ad rates to keep us going. It's the members, and I love you guys. Thank you all. Fantastic. A good AM. We have learned more history from you than we had from our books in his school. Those books never told us the real story. Thanks for the history lesson. Always feel smarter. I remember back in the day, during the war years, North American, the big three, they were allowed to produce cars until I think 1940 40 or 41, and then they were not allowed to make cars. Ford, GM, Chrysler, they were now unable to produce vehicles because they would not be allocated the steel. They would not be allowed to buy the rubber, the wiring for all the wiring needed. Nope. They now had to go into weapons manufacturing. That's the contracts they could get. The good news for Ford and GM and others is these guys went into tanks, Jeeps. They went into airplane manufacturing. They went into, you name it. They produced everything, artillery, anything for the war effort. They produced it all. They had the stamping machines in the factories. The problem was that a lot of the workers for the big three were military eligible males that could become part of the Army and the Navy and the Air Force. So women had to be brought in. And so female workers were brought in big time by manufacturing companies, factories all over the US and Canada. It was the first time that women were allowed to have good paying full-time jobs. And of course, these gals, their husbands were in the Army, Navy, Air Force, whatever, making whatever money that was. And then they were working at home, making money to pay the rest of the bills to keep the household going. And that was a big change for the workforce as a whole. And of course, a lot of women became career workers because of this. Some moved up the ranks quite quickly because they were quite bright, an untapped resource of talent. And a lot of women were hired in secretarial administrative functions that were reserved for men, like in accounting and analytics and engineering. And this opened the door for a lot of women to get into that field for the very first time. Unfortunately, after the war, the guys came back and they were given jobs again. They had their jobs protected, and a lot of women lost work. But through time, women found their way into the workforce and kept expanding it. But there was a lot of adjusting going on afterwards. And of course, the USA and Canada, after the soldiers came back, they passed what was known as the GI Bill, which was a big deal in the U.S. This was virtually a unanimous package to retrain the men and women from the war that had served the country to now get them into civilian life, in civilian careers, so that they could become taxpayers. And so it was an investment by the U.S. government and Canadian government and the British and all the other governments into their population to get them civilianized and get them going that way, whether they learned a trade, became carpenters, plumbers, electricians, jewelers, watchmakers, which a lot of guys became, you name it. And the civilianization of North America took place in the late 40s into the 50s, and that's where this economic boom came from, with a few recessions and then booms again. There was inflation after the war because there had been price controls, but that eventually got calmed down, and the 50s were predominantly good years. There were some slow years, but the 60s were good, mostly until, unfortunately, the big change took place. Automation, inflation kicked in, and efficiencies now ruled the day. It was a fluxing economy. Anyway, here we are. We're still here. What can I say? Working on DH None 29. Thank you. And welcome all. Built ships as well, says John. Absolutely. You name it. Anything for the war was created by factories in Canada and the USA. It was the big industrialization of North America, away from the farm to the big cities, is where it happened. And after the war, we began to see suburbs. That was the next wave, suburbs, where the men would commute to the office, but they wouldn't live in the high rises downtown. They would live out of town in the suburbs. And that's where expressways came from. And with Eisenhower in charge after 48, he wanted to build the interstate highway system, which actually was designed in the big scheme of things. It was designed to connect all of America coast to coast, north and south, so that in case of a national emergency, the interstate highway system was designed in such a way that military vehicles could be moved quickly across America wherever it was needed in case of a foreign invasion. And these highways had to have a certain engineering. The bridges had to be of a certain height. They had to be able to handle a certain weight load as well. All the bridges across any bridge on an interstate highway. And of course, a number of them ran through cities, and of course, obviously through states. So you had federal funding, state funding, city funding to each degree, but the federal freeway system is what changed America dramatically through the 50s and the 60s. And so now you could drive coast to coast, north to south, all over the USA, no charge. And we had now towns and cities opening up all over the place along these freeways. And you had distribution centers, manufacturing centers, all opening up as well, including, of course, mom and pop hotels, motels, gas stations, you name it, everything you needed for a moving population. And the beginning of the migration of the northeast population to the southeast and then to the Midwest and ultimately to the West began. And that's how America became what we have today, with these states with millions of people all over the place. It used to be the top 5 states for population were New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Illinois, all in the Northeast. Now look today at the top 5 states, top 10 states, and you'll see Texas, Florida, California. You'll notice Arizona sneaking in there. You've got the southern and the western migration happening as it continues on. Did Uncle Bruce get his ears lowered? Yes, he got a haircut, but this is over a week ago. This is a long time ago. Where have you been, Christina? What are we at now? 8 minutes to go before we start trading here. We're looking at a 23-point gain on the Dow. Not much. 7 on S&P, 29 on Nasdaq. I'm wondering whether we're going to get a little sell wave in the first hour because of the big run up on Friday, and we're going to test that resistance somewhere and then have another shot higher. That's possible. I don't see it as a 200-point run in the first 15 minutes. I don't see that happening. I see more of a tentative opening, maybe some slippage. We'll test a few levels, maybe rally a bit, a few levels. We might break down and drop a few hundred points for a while. Then we might try to come back on again. It might take half the day to get through it. We'll see how this plays out. We're up 39 cents on crude oil right now. Not a lot happening there either. I think they built the highways just for Stuckies. Christina, is that it's that face for radio? I just didn't notice. I usually listen when driving. It's the face for radio. There's no question about it. This is the face of radio. Unfortunately, we're just doing it through YouTube. What can I say? Welcome all to the show, the channel. We got 7 minutes to go before we open it up for trading today to see what we're gonna get, where we're gonna get it, where's the support, where's the resistance, the highs, the lows, the everything in between. I'm showing GameStop right now at about 136, up 79 cents. I've got, let's take a look over here. I'm going to get out of there. Someone is saying, there's a bulletin saying that Robinhood stock is upgraded on prospects for higher rates. I can't imagine why the stock would be upgraded for any reason whatsoever. That is a disaster. The U.S. 10-year is 3.19%. It has moved up a bit from 3.13. We've got Germany at 1.54. It's higher as well this morning. Italy's back to 3.52. We'll see how long this lasts. Over on the currency markets, we got the euro at 105.8, a little better than 105.6, and we got the British pound unchanged at 122.7. We'll watch for that. Asia markets overnight were up 1.5 to 2.5%. European stock markets today are half a point higher in London and Germany, but in France, a little lower, quarter point lower. So it's a mixed bag over here in Europe right now for interest rates. The Dow right now, 44-point run higher with 5 minutes to go. S&P up 8, NASDAQ up 35. That is what I see going on right here, right now. All righty, we'll see what gives. How are these markets going to do for us? 135.90 on GameStop. I would not be surprised if GameStop were to try 130 today. I don't know if GameStop will hit 140. It might be that GameStop goes lower first in the first half of the day and then tries to go higher in the second half of the day. But I can't be 100% sure. You guys are going to have to kind of keep an eye on the volume here on GameStop. What kind of opening salvo are we going to get? Same with the big markets themselves. If the Dow tries to run 100 points higher and GameStop goes up a couple of bucks, it might be it for a while until we, get through some profit taking. But again, we'll just have to wait and see. The volumes will tell us everything. There's just a lot of cash on the sidelines. Would like to get in, but it's patient. It is not in a hurry to get in. It will go into the market, but it won't be stupid about it. It'll be cautious about it. So we'll have to watch for that. My mom and dad stopped at every Stuckey on every exit. It took us forever to get anywhere. Let's go, says JC. Spire added to the Russell 3000. MTTR added to the Russell 2000. Looking at the pre-market, before we start trading, I see Rocket Lab up 4 cents, SoFi up 4. I got AMC up 11, Matterport up a nickel, 23andMe up a nickel, Spire up a nickel, ATIP up 7. Don't have anything on Smart Rent or Cyxtera yet. Apple up $1, Goldman up 192, Cisco down 17 cents. Tesla's up 1088. Arc Innovations up 35 cents to 46.19. Microsoft up 84 cents. Bed Bath Beyond down 9. Pfizer up a nickel. HPQ up 18. I just look at these markets. We're not getting mega dollar moves on anything to start the day. So that's telling me that buyers are not in a hurry or desperate to get in. They're more cautious. There's a little bit of nibbling, yeah, but not wild buying. We're not up 1 full percentage point at this point in time. Robinhood being upgraded. I don't know why I touched that thing with a 10-foot cattle prod. There's no way. The legal expenses that those guys are paying out right now in lawsuits that they're being sued for are millions a month. Millions and millions and millions. They don't make money. They're losing clients. They're not adding clients to their base anymore. I don't know how this company is an upgrade whatsoever. I have no clue how that could be justified. Higher interest rates, give me a break. It's all about trading volume and new client opening and getting customers to do more business with these guys. And I think that the bleeding from their the legal department is just going to keep crushing their bottom line. They shouldn't even be public, but that's just me. What can I say? Good morning to you all from Splair. We're a minute away. Let's get going and see what this market gives us. We're ready to start trading. I hope you're all ready to start going here. Hopefully you'll have a good week this week and make a bunch of money. We gained 823 points on Friday for the Dow Jones. Now we're going to see how the follow-through happens Monday morning. We're still showing a 44-point gain coming into the opening, which will start in seconds. As soon as Larry hits those bells, we will be open to start trading for the week. Let's see what's going to go happening. What's going to happen? Coinbase could see further degradation. Goldman warns in a downgrade. Yeah, Coinbase, Wall Street darling underwriting. not too long ago, just getting crushed. TIFF, Rocket Lab, Smart Brand, SoFi should be added to the Russell. They've been in the newcomer list a couple weeks ago. Well, we hope for the best on these guys. We'll see what gives. We'll find out soon enough. I think we're opening. Yes, sir. Larry Titus has made it official. We're up and we're running. We're open for trading. Let's see what this market has for us to get things started. Stuckey's was a restaurant, says Lame Duck. Gift shop was every 10 miles down the road. There was another one. Every mile was a Stuckey's advertising, depending on where in the States you're dealing with, obviously. DQ, thank you, Larry, for ringing those bells for us. I got the Dow right now up 68 at the moment. Not a stellar opening, but it is slightly higher. We'll see what this market wants to show us here. I've got a 12-point gain on S&P. NASDAQ, nothing yet. We'll see 61 points on NASDAQ now. Oil down 17 cents. 54 now on the Dow. 54-point gain. Matterport up a couple of pennies. Smart Red up 8. Tesla's at 746. 749 up $12. SoFi 616 up 3 cents. GameStop 135.98 up 77. Spire 143 up 3. Apple 143.45 up 179. AMC up 18 cents. ATIP down 2. Rocket Lab up 7 to 417 now. Cyxtera up 15 cents. 23andMe down 4. Pfizer off 25 cents. HPQ up 22. Early trades so far, and we'll see what happens in the next couple of minutes as everything fills in and get the overall drift of this market. Is this opening salvo going to run out of gas in 30 minutes or less? And do we get a bit of a negative movement first? We're going to see how this wants to play itself out. Over on GameStop, let's take a look and see how it's holding in here. A lot of us watch that one closely. 136.10, the high of 137.05, the low of 135.92. We're 136.10, closer to the low than the high. We're up 89 cents at the moment to start the day off with here. From Zermatt, Switzerland. This is where we're at. Zermatt, Switzerland, in the south of the country near the Matterhorn mountain. And it's a beautiful alpine town, city. I'm not sure if that's the right word for it. We're up 26 points on the Dow right now. We're up 7 on S&P, 29 on NASDAQ. We're not going anywhere fast here. Not going fast at all. How was your weekend, Uncle Bruce? Oh, it was great coming over here from Lugano. Beautiful set of train rides. We had a wonderful day yesterday, and it's just terrific. This is a beautiful place. We're really enjoying it, and we're looking good. Nick is in the house, my friend, from Blythe, California, running a roadway in. If you're ever in Blythe, check Nick's place out. He's got a roadway in, and he's taking real good care of it. He'll take good care of you. And that's no charge, Nick. 150th thumbs up right there. We're up 31 on the Dow at the moment. We're up 1 penny on Matterport. We're down 3 on Smart Rent. Tesla's up 14. SoFi down a nickel. GameStop now down a nickel to 135.16 at the moment. Spire up 2.5 cents. Apple up 77. AMC down 2, ATIP down 2, Rocket Lab up 11, Cyxtera up 12, 23andMe down 8 cents. Early trades going through right now. Watching to see how it goes. SoFi down 7, GameStop 135.03 down 18 cents. We're jumping around a little bit. The low on GameStop now 134.60. We're right there now, down 61 cents. The high of 137.05. There you go. Here comes some selling pressure. Gaudy figures. We'll see how much it is. Up 30 on the Dow, only up 4 on the S&P, and we're up 16 on NASDAQ. We're barely 1/10 of a percentage point higher right now. Not great. Up 9 now on the Dow. We're backing off. So let's see what this does. We'll see. Okay, 134.32 on GameStop, down 89 cents. That's a new low on the day now. We'll see what happens there. 134.25 is the new low, and we're at 134.60. Yeah, we're around 134.60, just around the low of the day. And stock is like a cracker barrel, says Lame Duck. 134.60 on GameStop, down 62 cents. Volume to open the day on GameStop, 91,000. Not a big buy wave going on at all. As I figured, we'd start light. We're down 2.8 on the Dow. We're going to start tentatively. We might test our support levels here a little bit. We had a big day Friday, an up day Thursday, a down day Wednesday, an up day Tuesday. It was a good week last week without any real testing of those runs, those moves. We're now down 12 on the Dow. So we've got to see just how powerful this buy wave really is. We're down 19 points on the Dow right now. We're backing off as I speak. We're down 5 now on S&P. We're down 28 on NASDAQ. We're red across the board on all three of those indexes, okay? Okay, let's see what happens. GameStop now down 82 to 134.39. 133.88, 134.03. We are jumping all over the place. Down $1, $1.18, $1.30. We're just everywhere. Selling is coming in a little bit now on GameStop. So those of you looking to write, you may want to wait for a little rally here. Those of you who are thinking of buying GameStop and then writing, you're looking for the stock to back off to see what it wants to do. Watch the market as it backs up as well. We'll see a few false alarms, a few buy rallies, and then sell rallies. Spots and see what happens. That's the dealio here, kids. Alrighty, down 112 on GameStop. I've got Home Depot down 49 cents. I've got Robinhood down 3. Vanik Semiconductor down 29 cents. IBM up 55 cents. We're down $2 on Microsoft. Goldman up was up half a buck. Now it's down a penny. Cisco down 4 cents. Facebook Meta Platforms down 88 cents. Amazon down $1.43. Google down 9.72. Bed Bath Beyond down 32 to 6.68. BlackBerry down 7 to 5.68. Royal Caribbean at $40.26, down $1.50. We got Target down 68 cents. JP Morgan down 21. Costco off 89. Walmart holding a 34-cent gain. Nvidia down 2.24. Disney down 73 cents. We've got American Airlines down 27 cents to 13.63. Netflix down $4 to 186. Moderna down 3.95 to 140. So more red than green for sure. We're down 54 points on the Dow Jones now as we're coming into a sell wave. Down just about 10 on S&P, down 50 on NASDAQ. So the selling is a little more pronounced at the moment. 176, a $2 drop on GameStop. 133.08, 213 drop on GameStop right now. All right. There you go. Let's see what it does. Matterport down a nickel, Smart Rent down 2, SoFi down 16 to 5.98, Spire 139.3 down 7/10 of a penny. Apple up 39 cents, falling. ATI changed, Rocket Lab up 13, Cyxtera up 22. ME down 7.5 right now. Okay, there you go. 38-point drop on the Dow. Okay. Everybody wants to, it's all we can do. We just got to watch and see how this market wants to settle itself out. I really think we got to give up some points. I think we got to drop a couple of hundred here to see if there's support, way more support than any kind of selling coming in. This is tentative to start, as I figured it would be. What are we, 9 minutes into this thing? We got to find out if there's really any kind of sell wave waiting to come in here, or are there nervous ninnies looking to dump stock? Do we drop too much this morning? We get a buy wave and we go higher again. Is there a lot of money wanting to come into the market that will take it higher? We'll find out. There's a lot of, I think we're going to see a lot of computer waves of buying and selling coming through here to really affect us for a while. So get used to it. Get ready for it. Down a dime on SoFi, down 1.99 on GameStop. That's what we see right here at the moment. All right. Welcome one, welcome all to the show. Nice to have you here from wherever you are. Thank you, all of you who have hit the thumbs up button already for us. 159 have come in. We're only 41 away from 200 already. Thank you for getting me that close to 200 thumbs ups already this morning. I do appreciate it. Let's see if we can go well beyond that. Double checking here, and I'm going to go to CNBC, double check the VIX. It is right now, waiting for it to load up. Here we go. We're up 99 on the VIX. That's slightly positive. It's not incredibly positive. It's slightly positive right now. Alrighty. Wall Street layoffs likely ahead as two-year hiring boom turns to bust. Banks hired thousands of employees during the pandemic. Deals boom. They will have to start laying off real soon. Interesting stuff. And normally when this kind of stuff happens, you begin to notice new firms being created. You'll notice new hedge funds pop up because some employees will realize that, we might be kicked out of here. We're only 2 years in this. And so some of these young guys will team up with maybe a veteran who's looking to go, and they'll try to pool 10 guys together, guys and girls, and they'll try to raise a couple $100 million between them through clientele and launch hedge funds and try to make a go of it as a private group, because they know that they're getting let go at the office and they don't want to try to join another firm. That can happen. Of course, this is the excuse that some companies use to get rid of the people they don't want anymore. There's that too. Let's see. If the VIX is green, does that mean the market will go down and vice versa? Yes and no. It's just a mood reader, really. Today I read that ARKK sold all its Matterport holdings, IIRC. They only bought them a couple months ago. That makes no sense whatsoever. Duncan, week and 1 year, same price on Apple. We're now at a 19-point drop on the Dow for now, and we've got the S&P down 9 and NASDAQ looks like down. Well, hang on. Let me just try to get another flash update here if I can. My iPad is having trouble keeping up with these markets. Okay. There we go. Yeah, we're down 51 on the Dow. We're dropping again. We're down 8 on S&P, down 53 on NASDAQ right now. Gamestop, 132.06, down 315, falling again. We might be at the low of the day here or close to it, 131.76. Remember, 131.58, I think, was the low on Friday for GameStop, the 131.50 something. If we go below that, that will be a new low since before Friday, back to Thursday, Wednesday. We'll see what happens here if we get more selling pressure on GameStop. Volume on GameStop this morning, 193,000. No support there from what I can tell you. 51-point drop on the Dow. 8 on S&P, as far as I know, although I will say we're more like 11 now. We'll say my machine's behind. We're down 11 on S&P, we're down 66 NASDAQ, we're falling. NASDAQ is now 0.58 of a percentage point below. The Dow's only 0.15. So NASDAQ is leading the down dip right now. So the growth stocks, the higher PE stocks are getting selling. They're getting some selling coming. We'll see if this accelerates or not. All right. GameStop 130.96 with a low of 130.51 now on GameStop. That's the low of the day now, which I think is lower than Friday's low. I think we've set a lower low. 130.07, we're definitely lower than Friday. We are definitely lower than Friday. There's selling coming in on GameStop. Okay. Even my phone now is behind on this thing. It's having trouble keeping up. Okay. 129.56 on GameStop. We're down 565. Here we go. We're backing up now. Nick, I will get to cover my Tesla short average 731. I need it to drop to 720. 738 is where it's at. It's only up $1 on Tesla. It was as high as they say 738. I don't think so. I think we're in the 750s this morning, and it's backing off. Tesla definitely backing up now, down $3. So, Nick, you might be just fine. You might be quite all right here. Coyote, we broke below 130. Yeah, 129.56 I see here. And 129.25 was the low. 129.41 now. We're off 581 on GameStop. Do you think this is going to continue? I'm thinking of lowering my bid offers. If you're thinking of buying it, I'd back off for buying it. And if you're looking to buy back calls on games, I'd be backing off. Let this selling come in. You don't want to take a position right now if you don't have to. If it's cheaper, let it come cheaper. We're down 29 on the Dow. Yeah, we're down 29 on the Dow at the moment. Okay, now down 83 on NASDAQ. The Dow should be going lower. 128 on GameStop, 128.42. This, I think, is the low of the day now. 128, 128.21. Here we go. Another drop. Yeah, I'm looking to buy back and lock in some profit. But like you said, I think it'll go lower. It is due. Duncan, Stinky, the GameStop low. That's right. Remember, stink bids save lives. Don't you forget that. Stink bids save lives. We're down 29 on the Dow, and we're at 128.21 was the low on GameStop now. So running into some selling here. And this I'm expecting this. We had to have some profit taking to start the day. 800-point gain on Friday with no pullback at all day long. No. That's not going to stay. You're not going to get that for much longer. You're going to get some pullbacks here. You gotta. 128.21 down $7 on GameStop. High today, 137.05 today on GameStop. Now 128.21 dropping. Okay. Let's see how flow it wants to go. Dow, I'm still showing it down to either the 29 or 48.5 points on the Dow right now. Maybe down 66 on the Dow now. I'm having trouble with my phone. Seems to be having trouble at the moment. You know what you do with a phone where you're having trouble. You turn it off and you turn it back on again, and you see if it wants to get better. Let's give that a try. Here we go. See if my Apple phone wants to reboot. 128.21 was the low, says Duncan, and when in doubt, reboot. Uncle Bruce, have you visited any Swiss banks out there? No. We have to visit a Swiss bank in Zurich. We got to visit one. We've got to exchange some old $100 notes, apparently. See what happens here. Here we go. Let's see what we got now on our market here. Okay, I got the Dow off 101 now. That might be a little more accurate. We'll see if that's real or not. I think it is. Yep, we're off 101 on the Dow now. And the GameStop at 128.58 at the moment, down 663. Okay. John, heading into a meeting. I'll try to catch you guys after I make it back in time. You betcha, buddy. Thanks, pal. You hang in there. We'll see you a little later. We're down 108, 109 on the Dow. We're down 10 on Matterport. We're down 17 cents on Smart Rent. Tesla's down 304, Nick. It's coming your way. SoFi down 19 cents to $5.94. GameStop 129.31. We got Spire off 3.5 cents. Apple down 19 cents. AMC down 3. ATIP down 5.5. Rocket Lab is up 4.5. Cyxtera up 51 to 13.55. ME down 11. Pfizer down 19. HPQ down 2. Twitter up 31 cents. Home Depot up 66 at the moment. All right. We got IBM up 110, Microsoft down 260, Goldman down 170, Cisco down 37 cents, Meta down 133, Amazon down 6. Sorry, where am I? Hang on. Something just glitched on me here. Hang on. Amazon down 262, Google down $19, Royal Caribbean down $2. Okay, there you go. All right, we're off now on the Dow. 73 points as we jump around here all over the place. 129.10 on GameStop. 611 is the drop right now. Okay. Down $6 on GME. There it is. Goldman down 185. There you go. So SoFi 594 down 19. GameStop 129.58. Tesla down to 734. Down $3 right now. Okay, the low of the day on GameStop 128.06, and we're 129.09 right now. We're $1 away from the low of the day on GameStop, down 6 now. We were down 7, and we seem to be coming back to it. Perhaps. Jen, how you doing?
Good. I need to plug in.
Is your phone in trouble?
No, the iPad.
Oh, your iPad's losing juice. She's got to plug into my computer to get her iPad popped up. Okay. Beach Boy, thank you for this donation, my friend. And here's a message. Hi, Uncle Bruce. The 10 GameStop July 1st 140s that I sold for $11.95, I just bought them back for $2.85. Hello. Isn't that beautiful? That is a beautiful thing. Not too shabby. Duncan is saying hello, Jen. Larry Titus, good morning, Jen. Good morning, everybody. Or good afternoon from here. Yeah. Way to go, Beach Boy. Scooping those babies back. Nice job. Now we're going to see what GameStop wants to do here. Does it go lower into the mid 120s? Is that where stock gets picked up and then 120s get written, or what? We'll see. Or does the stock kind of do 120s and then go to the 130-35 range and 130s get written? Could be a lot of fun today. We'll see what happens. We're down 79 on the Dow, 15 points lower on S&P, 81 on NASDAQ. NASDAQ is down 0.71 of a percentage point, whereas S&P is down 0.37 and the Dow is down 0.22 right at the moment. So if the Dow wants to catch up with the NASDAQ, it's got to be triple as much as it is. It's got to be down about 180, and it's not yet, okay? SoFi, $6. We're back to 6, down 12 cents on SoFi. A little recovery there, ever so little. Oil down 91 cents, 106.71. That's a good sign. Let's go. 156 gain on Tesla at 738 on Tesla. The question is, will Tesla also take a dump today as this market kind of gets through a little selling wave here? We'll find out. We'll see what this selling wave is made of. Is it just 100 points, or are we going to get like progressively worse? Like, do we go down 100 and then we come back into the 50s, and then we go down 120 and we come back to the down 70, and then we're down 170 and then we're only down 110? Like, are we going to play this game for a while or what? We'll see. Down 46 points at the moment. And we're at $6 on SoFi. We're down $4.21 on GameStop at 131 on the nose right now, 131. Volume on GameStop is 460,000 It's okay, but it's not like unbelievable at the moment. The Dow now off 51. We'll see what it wants to do. Okay, 602 on SoFi. Yay! 131.63 on GameStop. Down 358. Little rally here. Is this a dead cat bounce rally? Little morning rally, and then we drop again? That's what we got to watch for. The low on GameStop, 128.06. Now 130.94 on the GameStop. The high, 137. So we'll see how this plays out. Oil now down $1.20, down 123 to 106.39. Oil definitely going down. Good. Carnival stock is dropping. Cuts to the price target are rolling in. Yeah, Carnival shares, not good news. Norwegian shares, Royal Caribbean share, not good news here. These guys are having to cut prices to get passengers to come onto the ships. Fuel is at crazy prices for oil, for cruise lines, and all their other costs are surging, just like for us. Can you imagine the food bill on the cruise lines? How high the food bill has risen in the last 3 months? They weren't predicting this. Their projections had no way of knowing that they would be paying through the nose for food to feed their passengers. And the salaries are higher. Airfares to get staff off and on the ship. I mean, on it goes for the cruise lines. Bad news. And don't forget, cruise lines borrowed $100 billion from Wall Street the last 2.5 years to survive with the ships just sitting in the water. Those first bonds they issued back in 2020, they were paying 4.5% to 5% interest ballpark. Now, those early bonds, when they start to roll over this year, next year, they're going to come out 4 or 5% more higher. Eventually, $100 billion in debt will be 4 percentage points more to carry. $4 billion a year more interest payments for the cruise lines. That's another $4 billion to be made to try to break even. This is bad news. We're down 80 on the Dow. Another wave lower on the Dow right now is coming in. GameStop 130.38 down 483. A little pullback again. Let's see what this is. Is this pullback going to be more than the last one? It looks like we're down 108 now on the Dow Jones, 109. So let's watch for that. We're at the low of the day right now on the Dow, roughly 31,000 or roughly 390. We'll keep an eye on this. We're down 12 points on S&P. We're down 52 on NASDAQ. Let's see what gives here on these indexes. Okay. And our stocks, not looking great. 130.53 on GameStop, 602 on SoFi, Tesla 742 up 5, Smart Rent down 16 cents, Matterport down 6, and the Dow right now off 92. Okay, all right. Spire down 2, Apple up 41. AMC up 7, ATIP down 5.5, Rocket Lab down 4, Cyxtera only up 16 cents now. It was up 52 a little while ago. ME down a dime. Pfizer now down 27 cents. HPQ up 12. 130.18 on 130.06 on GameStop. We're coming in again. Down 5.15 on GameStop. We're going lower. The Dow off 95, 98 or so now. We're going lower on the indexes again. All right. The VIX is holding a 1-point gain, but all the indexes are red, including Russell 2000, right at the moment. Okay. Oh my. All right. Down 101 on the Dow. This is the low of the day again. We're back into that range. Yeah, we're in that range again. And then we hit a new low, and we get a buy program from a computer program kicking in to buy stock. Don't think this is going to work. I just sense we're going lower. I just sense it. Not sure what this is, how low this is going to get. This is going to be interesting. GameStop 130.03, getting ready to hit the 130 level again. Okay, 602 SoFi, hanging on. Here we go. Duncan keeping us apprised of some of these changes. Tesla up 650 to 743. Pending home sales, they're still way below last year's levels, says Barron's. Pending home sales rise 0.7% in May compared with consensus forecast of a 4% drop, but they're still way off last year's. The VIX is barely moving, and my calls aren't flinching. I think we're going to bounce. Austin, sorry, guys, I bought last Friday. That is why the market is down today. Oh, now we know who to blame. Welcome, my friend. We're down 69, 70 points on the Dow at the moment. Trying a little rally. I don't know if it's got one in it. Don't know. SoFi at 6 again. GameStop 130.22, down 4.99. Oops, 129.90 on GameStop, down 5.31. We just dropped under 130, just like that. We're coming into some selling here. It would appear some selling is coming on. We're down 24 cents on Smart Rent. We're down 6 on Matterport. Tesla 743 now, down, still up $6, 743.31, holding on, but not at its high. 129.94 on GameStop. Welcome everybody from around the world to Zermatt, Switzerland. The door to our balcony is open, and there are no truck sounds outside. No cars, no cop cars, no sirens. Birds, just birds. It's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful how quiet it is and how clear the air is here. This is really a special place. What can I say? We're off 89 again on the Dow. A little sell wave coming in again. SoFi $6. GameStop 129.72. $1.66 away from the low. Okay. Cody, we're coming off that 700-point up day, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Dow down 300. Yeah, we were up 850 on Friday. 850 we gained. I would kill for that. We have troublesome neighbors, to put it lightly. Cops are at their house at least once a day. I'd kill for silence, laughing out loud. Yeah, we've yeah. This is a different world over here, I'll tell you that. So different. Okay, 130.17 on GameStop, trying to hang around 130. 602 on SoFi. We're down 46 now on the Dow. We got down to 40, now we're down 46 on the Dow. A lot of volatility here, but I don't know if the volume is that heavy. I do not know. Here we are. And what are they saying over there? Let's get that up. Yeah, Bitcoin is off $773 to 20,600. It's fallen off. It got up to 21,500 almost. 21,400 is now 20,600. That's backing off. And Ethereum is off. XRP is off. I don't know these entities. I just see their numbers falling. That's what they're doing. The Dow is off 45. No, only down a point now. The Dow's off 1 point. Rally happening right here. We'll see if it's got any legs to it. We're down half a point on the Dow. We're up 1/10 of a point on S&P. NASDAQ still down 23. Looks to me like a computer-generated buy program is kicking in. GameStop 130.58 right here. Okay. VIX only up a half a point. It's actually getting weaker. The VIX is getting worse, not better. This market up 14 now in the Dow, but I think it's all a computer buy program. I don't know how real this is. Coyote, never would have guessed he had the door open. Switzerland seems awesome. Nazareth, I love my house because it's up on the hill at the end of the cul-de-sac. Great views and only neighbors on two sides. Very quiet here. Cody, hey, Cruz, what do you think about the Russian default, or did I miss you talking about that? And Coyote, Tiff, if we're working on it, it's gotten worse this year, so we're moving our timetable up to get out. The Russian default was expected. It was predicted. The markets almost don't care. It's a nothing burger as far as news goes. It's limited to certain firms. I don't know the gory details, but it's not affecting the global markets in any real way. We're up 8 now on the Dow as we are jumping around here at the moment. Now we're down 7 on the Dow. So I'm having trouble following this. It's kind of crazy. Oil down 62 cents to 107. GameStop still showing 130.66, down 455. We're negative 16 on the Dow now, going red again. Okay. Tesla got the 750, up $13. We'll see if it can hold. We'll find on out. 749 now. SoFi 602. GameStop 130.78 right now. Okay. The U.S. pending home sales rebounded in May, reversing a 6-month decline. Well, a dead cat bounce on that one. I got to wonder, with interest rates going higher next month for sure, mortgage rates could go to 6. I don't know if there's going to be a big buy demand for houses. We'll see. We'll see. Down 12 now on the Dow Jones. Okay. Cool. Thanks, Uncle Bruce. Says, Cody, you got it, buddy. The Russian thing. Yeah, the Russian thing. Down 27, 28 now on the Dow. We've gone red again on S&P, and the Nasdaq is staying red, down 32. 130.95 on GameStop. And the volume on GameStop now at 131. 559,000 shares. SoFi 602 on 4.9 million today so far. Okay. The Dow now off 38, slipping a little more. 130.65 on GameStop. 130.57 on GameStop. The thing we hear out of our windows, birds and people talking. Not yelling, talking. Those are the sounds. We did hear this morning a helicopter, because there's a helicopter center just by the railway station. It's generally there for medical, emergency medical. But today a helicopter was moving, had like a rope on it, and it was moving, looked like bags of cement, because there's some construction going on, and it'll just fly it over because there's a gorge here, and it's difficult to maneuver. So you have to fly stuff from here to there. I don't know what. I can't walk over there and tell you what it is. Can't do it. 130.39 on GameStop. We're coming down again. We're down 58 on the Dow again, backing off. SoFi 601. Tesla just dropping 744 now. It just was at 750 a few minutes ago. 744 on Tesla, backing off right now. The Dow off 62. Okay, 130.30. 130.30 on GameStop at the moment. 130.37. All right, there you go. There it is. There it is. There it is. Our opening salvo has come through here. Can the GameStop go lower? Yeah, it could. The question is, will it? How much will it go lower? 128.06 was the low. If the Dow gives up 200 points, 250 on any kind of sell-off here, maybe GameStop will hit 125.6, something like that. That might be a moment, a point to get in if you're a buyer of the stock, or to look at buying options that are backing off for you. Keep an eye on that. And then see if GameStop wants to go to 133, 135. And if it does that, you might write options on GameStop for this Friday, depending on what kind of contract you want to write, either in the money or at the money or just out of the money. Your call, your choice. See what's going on. 129.96 on GameStop. We just broke 130. 129.61 on GameStop. 129.61. Okay. And we're off 57 points or so on the Dow right now. SoFi, $6 again, backed off. 741 on Tesla, just dropped $3. 741 on Tesla, coming back from 750 a few minutes ago. Come on, SoFi, go sub 6 again for daddy's call's sake. Coyote, GameStop volumes for the ants. Bama Babe checking in from Alabama. How you doing, Bama Babe? Morning, Bama Babe from DQ. We're at 740 on Tesla and SoFi 598. GameStop 129.10. Coming to within $1 of the low of the day again on GameStop. The Dow off 108, just dropped to 108. Okay, here we go again on another down dip. We're 7 points away from the low of the day on the Dow now. Will we hit another low? And this was a steep drop off. This last computer buy program didn't hold. Will it take another dump to new lows? We'll see. SoFi 603 again, 130.45 to 129.03 on GameStop. You tell me what's the accurate number. 742 on Tesla. Just all over the place with volatility right now. Yeah, 129.29 it looks like on GameStop, under 130. The Dow now I see down 63. Again, another computerized buy program kicking in. Speculators are betting that when it hits 100 low, they get in, look for a bounce, and they're looking for a follow-through on it. I don't know if they're going to get it. If these sell waves keep coming, it'll break the Dow down to 200 to 300. I just don't know what minute, what hour, and what day this is going to happen. 128.50 now on GameStop. We're 44 cents away from the low of the day. 128.50. She's backing up. Volume now. It actually hit 128.06. So that has been the low. Sorry. We're coming back to that. We're trading 618,000. Not very good. 128.50 at the moment. Okay. 599 on SoFi. 738 on Tesla. That's $12 off in 15 minutes. So, Nick, it's coming to you, buddy. They're coming back to you. And VIX keeps falling. I think we're going to get a bounce, says Cody. Cody keeps figuring it's going to come. Well, it's only up 0.82, my friend. Not so great. Not that great on VIX. We need more than this. Dow off $66 on SoFi, 737 on Tesla, 129.01 on GameStop right now. Okay. Yeah, 597 on SoFi. Spire's off 5.5. Apple up 41 cents. ATIP down 6. Rocket Lab off a half a penny. Cyxtera down 11. ME down 12. Pfizer up 44. HPQ up 1 penny. Home Depot down 83. Vanik up down $1.25 on Vanik. IBM up 76. Microsoft down 207. Goldman down 282. Cisco down 31, Meta down 104, Amazon down $2, 215, Google down 14 right there. The Dow off 74 again. 128.78 on GameStop. 72 cents from the low. Cody, I'm making my prediction and I'm sticking to it. We need to drop more than 300 before I'm getting twitchy. That's what we need. Right on 28.90 on the GameStop, 5.97 on SoFi, 7.36 on Tesla, down 62 cents. It's in the red now. We're down 74 on the Dow, down 81 on the Dow now, 81 coming off again. 128.60 again on GameStop, 54 cents from the low. Taking another move towards it. Well, we'll see. We'll see what it does. 736 Tesla, 597 SoFi, 128.70 on GameStop. Okay. Okie doke. It's doing what it's doing. The VIX 0.75 higher. Not very encouraging. I'll tell you that. Okay. Thank you all for coming out here today. Appreciate this support today, as always. It's great to have you here. 187 thumbs ups, guys. Thank you. Only 13 away from 200. Thank you for getting me that close to 200 thumbs ups already. Appreciate it. We're off 49 on the Dow. Tesla 736, SoFi 596, GameStop 128.90. 128.90. 187 thumbs ups. Okay. 190 on the thumbs ups. Here we go. 10 away from 200. It's a beautiful thing. $191 on the thumbs up meter. 9 to go. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. We're probably going to say range bound until Wednesdays, thanks, Bill. Coyote, SoFi added to the Russell 3000 and drops when it's already at these lows. Duncan Smart looks tasty. There you go. 471 on Smart, ran down 42 cents today. We're down 12 on Matterport. We're down 49 on the Dow. Tesla 737 up 20 cents. SoFi 596. GameStop 128.92. There you go. Oh, man, the Supreme Court is gone religion, haven't they? The Supreme Court, siding with a football coach who knelt in prayer at the 50-yard line, ruled that a school district cannot bar him from publicly exercising his faith on the field after the game, continuing a line of decisions lowering the once high wall between church and state. School officials in Bremerton, Washington, argued that the coach commandeered the government-owned field to promote his faith to fans and students after the game, implicitly putting the district's imprimatur on his brand of Christianity. Mr. Kennedy, a Marine Corps veteran who himself attended Bremerton High, said his midfield devotions were inspired by an evangelical movie about a football coach at a religious school who turns around a losing team by stressing faith in God. He said his personal expressions of thanksgiving harmed no one and that he treated players fairly when they joined him in prayer or not. Well, I just wonder if any Muslim coaches out there would like to, bow to Allah at halftime or after the game. I wonder if that would be protected by the Supreme Court of the United States. Kind of wonder about that. I don't know if that quite will work the same way. It is what it is. Unbelievable. All right. There you go. Supreme Court is compromised. A movie? I think I'm more upset that South Carolina had to waste its time. The Supreme Court had to waste its time. Love it all. Well played, Coyote. Well played, says Joe. We're down 39 on the Dow. Tesla 737 up 65 cents. SoFi 594 down 19. GameStop 129.14 down $6.07 right now. Uncle Bruce, no need to wonder. The answer is no. All of that would be Coyote. We can't test that theory because the good old boys would not hire a Muslim coach, and they'd can him the second he decided to do anything religious. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Yep. Thank you, Uncle Bruce. Big nose says, I don't know. I don't know. Oh my gosh. GameStop 128.81. We're back under 129 again. 594 on SoFi, 737 on Tesla. The Dow's only off 19 points. So interesting here. Oil down only 36 cents again. Oh my, 128.82 on the GameStop shares. Near the low, very close to the low. Will there be a lower low? 128.78. It looks like it's coming down. We went to some protests here in the Deep South this weekend. It was interesting. I can imagine. I imagine it would be. We're up 9 now on the Dow. Another rally has come through here. Still down 4 on S&P, down 66 on NASDAQ. NASDAQ down 0.57 of a point. SoFi 594, GameStop 128.77, and Tesla 738.50. Never a dull moment anywhere out there. There were no protests here, by the way. Here in Switzerland, no. There was people were celebrating summer and celebrating the sun and celebrating good food and enjoying themselves. That's what was happening here. A lot of tourists here from around the world. They're here from China, the Mideast. Americans are here, Canadians, Europeans from all over. The world is here. No doubt about it. There's a lot of tourists from everywhere around here. Okay. Bama Babe, where in the Deep South? Coyote, South Louisiana. Oh my goodness. Must have been fun. We're down again, negative now on the Dow. 1 point. We're down 1 point on the Dow. See if this has much of a run to it. 128.94 on GameStop. 593 on SoFi. 737 on Tesla. We're going negative there on all three of them. 593 on SoFi, another penny lower. 128.75 on GameStop. Glenn Bear, no surprise by the protests. So many systemic pressures, problems weighing on people and markets. Cody, tell the protesters to stop slapping companies on the back for offering travel support. They're still donating to the red team. Cody, my friend from Finland just celebrated Johannes. Okay, fantastic. We're down 22 on the Dow. Negative. Tesla 736 down 48 cents. SoFi 591 now on SoFi. GameStop 128.45. We're 39 cents away from the low of the day. 128.45. It's coming down. 128.44. We're backing off here on the Dow. On the Dow. On GameStop. 128.34 on GameStop now. 29 cents from the low of the day on GameStop coming in. We need some good We need some good feels on a down stock market. If it makes anyone feel better, I went to my brother-in-law's lake yesterday for a little pontooning and fell in the lake. My wife couldn't stop laughing. Austin cut my foot on a zebra mussel. She didn't care. Yay, says Dr. Dennis. I don't know. We're down 54 on the Dow. Your bro-in-law owns a lake, Cody. That does make me feel better. Oh no, 735 on Tesla, now 742. It just jumped $7. SoFi 603, GameStop 130. I think this is an incorrect quote. Not sure what to believe right now. My machines are really quirky. The Dow looks to be down 100, but I'm not sure if that's accurate. GameStop down to 128.44. I can't tell you. My quote machine, my phone is twitchy. My iPad is twitchy. It's just twitchy. Yeah. SoFi, GameStop slipping. One cottage of many. 128.02 on GameStop. So we are going lower. We are going lower on GameStop. We are going down. Okay. 128 on the nose right now on GameStop. That's the low today. The Dow down 72. Tesla 736. SoFi 586. We're going red. We're going lower. We're going lower. 128 on GameStop now, down 721. So we're running into more selling at the moment, guys. Yo. Down 67 on the Dow. 48-cent drop on Smart Rent today. $4.65 a share. DQ, I did say Avalanche in 6. Austin, how about them Avalanche? How about them guys? 2-1 lead after 2, and that was the final score. 4 shots on goal for Tampa in the third period. That's it. Unbelievable. Defense wins cups. That's how it works. Defense wins Super Bowls too. They're all over. That's right. I'm not complaining about that at all, says DQ. I haven't been following. Yep, it's all over. The 2-time defending champion Tampa Bay Lightning fell in 6 games. The third time they tried to go for 3, just came up short. And there you have it. It is what it is. 128.21 on the GameStop with a low of the day of 128 from what I can tell you. Refreshing 128.06 right now on GameStop coming in. The Dow's off 67, Tesla down to 735.98, and SoFi 586. Awesome. I'm not a huge hockey fan, but the skill those guys have on one-timers is incredible. My brain doesn't even process information that fast. Watching them in super slow motion is how you can see how they do what they do. It's amazing. A lot of teams that have been deep, that had deep playoff runs year after year, eventually they're just too exhausted to keep up. Same thing happened with the Warriors recently. Needed a few years to recover, and then, bam, there you go. 72-point drop on the Dow. Tesla, 736. SoFi, 586. GameStop, 128.01. 1 penny away from a new low of the day. From what I can see here, we just hit it, 127.88. Another new low of the day on GameStop, under 128 now. And Coyote, I used to play roller hockey as a kid, and my brother would come to my practice, and I'd make him play goalie after to practice on my one-timer slap shots to torture him. DQ, it's a war of attrition every year. That's true. 46-point drop on the Dow, not going lower at the moment. Tesla 739, trying to hang on. SoFi 587, GameStop 128.14. With the low of 127.88, it would appear. 127.88 seems to be the low of the day right now on GameStop. WD, hi, Bruce, bought back July 8 GameStop. Looking to write again at your recommendation point. Thanks, Bruce. Well done, WD. Hopefully you're making nothing but money. That's the name this game, 128.75 on GameStop. The Dow off 108. It looks like we're going down again. Just wait to see if everything lines up here. I'm not 100% sure on this. 588 on SoFi. Now hockey moves into the GM-centric phase. The draft and free agency deadlines quickly approaching. Fun times. Yes, the musical chairs in hockey are about to begin. Big time. 128.60 on GameStop. 588 SoFi. 738 Tesla. 737 Tesla. And the Dow off 67 points. 128.50 on GameStop. Dave the Mac guy, McDavid and Draisaitl finished number 1 and number 2 for points during the playoffs, and they got swept in 4 by the Avs. Unreal. Unbelievable. Changes are coming. They always are in the offseason. Tesla, 588. No. Tesla, 739. SoFi, 588. GameStop, 128.95 right here. 129.16. GameStop trying a little rally again. Another dead cat rally? We'll find out. Uncle Bruce, how do you think the GameStop story ends? Does it eventually just turn into an everyday stock and the story dies, or do you think there'll be some more excitement? Yeah, well, GameStop has been unpredictable since, January of 2021. Unpredictable. And just when you think it's over, it isn't over. And these guys have an amazing ability to pull rabbits out of the hat. I don't know what to make of it. And the gamblers out there putting crazy premiums on the options, it's wild. So you take the options money while they hand it to you. You just take it off of them and say, thank you, sir. May I have another easy money, I'm saying. Oil up 42 cents to 108.04. Hanging right in there now. The Dow now down 43. We've been not going very far very quickly. We won't drop off dramatically, but we're not going up dramatically either. It's a soft 850-point gain on Friday. What will it do? It's now an hour into the game, or an hour and 2 minutes into the market. We're down 31 on the Dow. And the GameStop right now at 130.35, hanging right in there around 130.35, having just hit 127.88 about 10 minutes ago for the new low of the day. Tesla at 742, up $5. SoFi 592, down 22 cents. And we're not getting a massive rally in the indexes, which is telling me there is not a lot of money coming into this market. It's spotty. Look at the NASDAQ down 70. That's 0.6%, 0.6 of a point. The Dow should be off 200 right now to match NASDAQ. So the Dow is not performing like NASDAQ is performing. NASDAQ is worse. GameStop 130 on the nose again. AMC and GameStop not correlated. Thinking of buying a new GameStop shares to stay interested. GameStop, make up your mind. Split coming later, not a bad idea. Not buying shares at these prices though, just me. 129.83 going down again. We're coming in with another wave of selling on GameStop. Sell calls before Austin buys GameStop. Down 51 on the Dow. Another little tick lower again. The NASDAQ off 71. S&P down 8. SoFi 590.91. Tesla 742. GameStop 130.14. So we're hanging around this 130 level. That's it at the moment. We've had almost a $10 spread between low and high on GameStop today. 137.05 for the high, 127.88 for the low. 130.35 at this moment. 130.14 actually at this moment. No, we're not going very far. The Dow off 52 points or so. SoFi 591, Tesla 742. No springboard here. All right. Well, kids, I'm gonna leave you for a while and leave you to watching your markets. Keep an eye on them. If that GameStop, goes lower, look to buy it. Pick up some options if you can, cheap. Wants to go higher, start writing options and score them in. But you got to watch the Dow here. The Dow's got to give us positive, like serious direction, one way or the other. With an 850-point gain on Friday, it's doing well, only being down 42. But it's not going higher, which means it could eventually fall off a cliff if it doesn't get a buy wave soon. We'll have to watch for that. Have we hit SSR yet? Not on SoFi, not on GameStop. No. I'm waiting for GameStop to drop at least 20 to 30 bucks before I buy back in, says Tiff. I swear, I'm having a good one. Have a good one today, everybody. Well, let's see how it plays itself out. It's at 30.35, down 486, and 593 on SoFi. We'll see. I'll be back on later today at 3 Eastern. And I'll also be on the other channel today, Traveling with Bruce. I put up a video this morning on Traveling with Bruce if you want to see my video about Vienna. We did a video, a little Vienna thing. You can always check it out. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Larry and Cody. A lot of support in the 110 to 120 range. John, thanks, everybody. We'll catch you all at 3 o'clock today on this channel for the final hour. Let's see how things work out and play it by ear. 129.98 again on GameStop. Keep your eye on those stocks. A lot of support in the 110-20 range, says Cody. Yes, indeed. We'll follow it all. Thank you, guys. I'll catch you later today. See you soon. All right.